Alright, guys. Guess what? We're back. Shnerdcast. Quarantine episode number 2. Man, what's this, month number 2 now? Jeez. It's been going by, seems like it's going by pretty slow, but, yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, but, uh, seems like not much has been happening, honestly, not until like the past week or so, yeah, finally got some news. Finally got some stuff to talk about. I wanted to try to get Dan on here, but we're trying to do a little FaceTime thing going, or like some Skype, do like something with him. So hopefully, next episode I could have him or maybe somebody else to come on. We will see, but we're here practicing social distancing. Can't even say it right. Yeah, I've been pretty much kicking it at the crib and then going to kick it with my girl at her parents' house, and we just been over there just getting stuff done and just she's been trying to build a little pen for her guinea pigs and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, the stuff with the coronavirus and everything has been going crazy. Still, I mean, it seems like it's kind of calming down. More people are going out. Stores aren't as packed. Um, things are starting to settle down a little bit, but it's still pretty crazy out there, man. Fucking city, U.S., we're still in lockdown, all this stuff. So, but like I said before in the last episode, we'll get through this. We'll most definitely will get through this. This is not something that's gonna wipe us out. But yeah, I've been actually been getting into skateboarding again. I've been skating a lot the past uh just this whole time. I've just been going out, just skating around, trying to relearn how to skate. It's so weird. It's not like riding a bicycle, I'll tell you that. Maybe riding the board is easy, but doing tricks and learning tricks again is tough. But it's fun though. It's fun. I'm just crazy to think I should go to school all day, come home, then go skate for like 4 or 5 hours, and do it all the next the same thing all the next day. Do it all over the next day, and it was it's fun though. It's nice. It's nice to get back. It's very nice to get back into the swing of skateboarding and just trying to relearn. Uh, if you guys anybody want to check Shnerdcast, it's at Shnerdcast 2 for TikTok. So definitely check that out. I only have a couple videos on there, and it's just strictly skateboarding so far. Haven't posted anything funny or witty because I know that's like what people try to use TikTok for. But I think I'm mostly gonna be using it just for like skateboarding and just little other things. Like maybe I'll post something for the for the podcast to promote that or something. Or but yeah, other than that, check that out. The link will be whatever. Will be like right here. It's Nerdcast 2. But yeah, I've been loving it, man. Just getting back in the flow of things, and it's definitely kicking my body's ass because my body. I mean, when you go for a run, it's one thing, but when you go skateboarding, it's like your whole body, and you just have to use a lot of muscles and stuff. A lot more muscles than you would think you'd have to use. Um, but yeah, I've been watching some skate videos, and it's crazy how far skateboarding has come, man. It's some of the stuff people are doing, some of the skate videos that I've seen. It's just what in the world? Like, it took a huge leap since the last time I really watched it. Like, let's say, like around 2009, 2010 is like when I really stopped paying attention and watching skateboarding. And all these crazy dudes, man. And, yeah, a lot of them are rippers and bangers, and it's so impressive to see these dudes just throwing their body like out there like that. Like so the falls are so bad too, but they just get right back up and they do their thing. But it's good to know that even the pros eat really bad shit sometimes. um, yeah, I've been watching the skateboarding podcast. My brother-in-law actually showed me Tyson. I think it's called the Nine Club podcast. That's right. Um, I haven't really been watching it. I just watched like some of the clips that they have on there. It's pretty dope though. If you like skateboarding or you're trying to get into skateboarding and you want to just like see people talking like just casually, it's a good podcast to check out because they're always talking about different skaters and all these clips and just a lot of info you can get from that. Because these dudes used to be, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are pro skaters or like filmers and stuff, and so it's good to get cool to get their perspective. Um, and I saw this video of this dude who 360 flipped El Toro, which is a 20 stair, which is pretty freaking crazy. So like an 8 stair is like almost 6 foot. You know what I mean? So like 6 foot tall. So just imagine, because like I remember even 10 stairs, they were pretty. I couldn't really see over them, at least like a lot of the ones that I've seen. So I can only imagine a 20 stair because that has to be at least 12 feet in the air. You know what I mean? So jumping 12 feet, going at least like 15, 20 miles per hour on your board. He 360 flipped it, landed, and rolled away, and I guess his truck broke. It rolled away and reverted out and fell off. And he got mad because he couldn't roll away, but I guess his back truck broke. And I guess they tore that spot down, or they put like little bars in front of the stairs to stop people from skating down there. Because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of kids and people who've broken bones and got messed up over trying to do that. There's actually this old YouTube video. I don't even know if you could even find it because there's probably so many. But if you put El Toro Feeble, there's like this little. Oh, this was a long time ago. Like I was. Oh, this is when like YouTube was still brand new. But yeah, this is before like Instagram, like before a lot of stuff. Like Twitter was really even popular. Like that's when Twitter was just probably just like people are just started talking about Twitter. But yeah, he feebled it or like Smith grinded it or something like that. And he had this another video where it was a double bar rail, and so like what that means is like so it connects at the top, and they spread out so there's a little gap in the middle, and it goes down and they connect at the bottom too, and it looked like there was some space, but like some bars to like hold it steady at the bottom, so it'll be like a rod, like a rod, so it'll be like the rail on these two sides and the little rod in the middle with a little thing connecting them. So you know what I mean. I guess there's like a term for that, but I don't know what it is. But he tried to go and Smith grind it, which is pretty much when your um, back truck gets onto the rail and your front trucks are off or hanging off to the side. And so when he did that, his board just dropped, and he must have just like not just locked on right or something, and you see him fall forward and his leg gets caught in between those like the rails and the rails, and his leg hits the bar, like the support bar, and all you see is his leg just literally snap the opposite way like a flamingo leg. It literally just went boom and the video stops right there. These people go oh, and the video stops. And probably now you could probably find out who that guy was. I'm pretty sure he probably got a little bit more famous, or like if not, it's a shame because that's a terrible career ending way. Oh, he probably broke his knee and snapped a couple tendons. Ugh, can only imagine what that feels like. But yeah, love skateboarding, man. Like it's just like an old love. Just one of those things I used to do a lot when I was little. Hopefully, when I get Dan or next time I get Josh or somebody, we can talk about some of the old days of skating because we were little bastards, man, and we were like so bad. We were bad little kids, and we got away with a lot of stuff. I wish Dan. So me, this story where me, Dan, and Will we used to always just do night skates, and this is probably we were a little bit. We were like 16, 17, but I was homeschooled, and Will was going to a school where he got off at 12, and um, I don't know what the hell Dan was doing. I think he either finished school or dropped out at that point. I don't know. But we were. I'm not sure what Dan was doing, but we were. So we were able to just like stay out really late, and like when I mean late, we'll like be skating until like 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll meet up at like 9, and then not go home until like 2:30. I remember one time it was like 1 o'clock, like just a little after one, and we're skating at this in this parking lot where there's like these little bumps where you can kind of launch off and do some couple tricks. We called it Pier One. Um, these cops pulled up, and we all looked at each other like, "Damn it! Like we're probably gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get like a ticket because it's 1 o'clock and we're technically minors, or like we're under the age of 18, so we can get in trouble." Cop rolls down his window and he's like, "Hey, which one's the best of you?" And Will and Dan both point at me like I'm gonna get in trouble or something. And the cop was like, "Do a 360 flip," and I did a couple of them, and like I did a couple other tricks, and he's like, "That was pretty good. You guys stay out of trouble." And he drove off, and we're like, "Oh, that was pretty dope." And yeah, it was one of the coolest like cooler moments when it came to like our interaction with cops. Because as a skater, you do get you run into some shady ass individuals and people who are just mad, and which they probably do deal with some crazy ass people. Like there are guaranteed there's people who they've told them nicely to leave, and they're like fuck you, blah blah, like just talk shit to them hella much and like get in their face. And this dude's just like a fucking a rent a cop, or no, you know what I mean? He's just like some security guard, and he's just trying to do his job. And that's how fights happen. And if you ever look up skaters versus haters, no, I'm pretty sure it's something like that. But if you look up skaters versus people, there's a lot of people fighting, and sometimes the skaters deserve it, and sometimes they don't. But just know when you mess with a group of skaters, you better watch out because they're wild ones. Skaters are no joke, that's for sure. Yeah, don't forget to check out Shnerdcast 2 at TikTok. Post a link down in the description and everything. Also our Instagram. Been posting stuff to Instagram too, so if you don't want to check that out, go for it. Link in the description. Shnerdcast at Instagram. You know what I mean. We've been doing it. We'll be here. We're here doing our thing. Since we were talking about skateboarding, or I'm talking about skateboarding, I wanted to bring up this new skateboarding game. It's going to come out in July called Skater XL, and it looks like Skate. And it's funny because I was thinking the other day, I was like, why have they been remaking all of these games and everything, but they haven't remade Skate? Because Skate was like a groundbreaking skateboarding video game. Because we had Tony Hawk and all that stuff, but that stuff wasn't realistic. Like you couldn't do, you know what I mean? You couldn't do a 360 flip, switch nose grind, 360 flip nose grind, till 360 hard flip, 360 hard flip out to nose manual, go up a mini ramp, and do a fucking 360 melon and revert to another manual. And just, it was just so, it was more arcadey than anything. Um, and when Skate came out, it was just revolutionary. It was like, whoa, like, especially for a skater at a young age that never really played any games like that. The only other games you hear was, well, I think it was like Skate and Destroy for like the Super Nintendo or something like the Nintendo, and that was like 10 years before I even before Skate even came out. So it was like a breath of fresh air, and I loved playing that game. The first one I put hours into. The second one was pretty dope. I played a lot too, and the third one I never really got too much into. But that one's the one that I guess really got was the most popular because you had a bunch of online things you can do with your friends, and um, just a bunch like you had bunch of pro skaters. And this is how I know I'm like either getting old or I just haven't been keeping up with any of the skaters because there was the skateboarding at all because there was only like maybe two, three skaters that I knew that they were like introducing in the trailer. I was like, ugh, I don't know any of these people. I think the only one was like Brandon Westgate and somebody else. But and the only reason I know him is that's because he was like an amateur on America on one of the last skate videos I bought. So yeah, it wasn't it it was surprising that they haven't made a new skate in a long time. But here and behold, they're making one, and it kind of it's under the radar. I haven't really heard anybody talking about it. Sadly, it's only for PS4. At least from what I've seen, they haven't really said anything much about it. But I hope it comes out for Xbox or PC or something else, because it'd be really nice to get back into while I'm getting back into skateboarding, to get back into to play the game and help me kind of know who which is which, like which skater is skater, what's who is who, and like who's what are the top brands now? Because I know Thrasher is everywhere. I see people wearing Thrasher shirts and sweaters, and it's just like, when did this happen? It's so weird, especially because I've known Thrasher magazine as a little like forever, just as like a skateboarding thing. It's like a I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird how it got super popular out of nowhere, and I guess it's a cool thing. It's like people could see what skateboarding is and kind of be more not look more down on them. It's I don't know. I think it's more of a thing with the younger people too, because I can guarantee you, if you told them if you asked what Thrasher was, they'd probably say skateboarding, and that's all. They probably wouldn't know what they do or who they make or what they make. Um, that's one of the things I kind of want to bring up before I go on and talk about more about this game is skate videos. What happened to skate videos, man? They're non-existent, and it's probably a dying a dead a dead market, which sucks because I remember when I would go out buy a new board, I'd always love to look at the skate videos and see what they had and which new ones. Because sometimes they give you free ones. They just give like, oh, um here's a free skate video for like with your purchase. It would be like a little short, like 15 half-hour video of just like a bunch of AMs and pros just doing a bunch of just like random stuff, and it was dope. I liked that. I miss. It was something to look forward to, especially when you heard people making skate videos. Like, what? Like, there's a girl video coming out. Like, well, Lakai's making a video. You know what I mean? Like, it was just anticipation to see what they were gonna do. I liked I mean, I know it's kind of like the same thing, because instead of having like a 2 to 3 minute part, you get a whole 7 to 10 minute part of like all your tricks and everything, and you don't have to have anything cut or um, anything cut. So it's I can see why it's more easier just to put videos onto the internet and just have everybody in the world watch them, instead of you know p- charging people 15, $20, $25 for a skate video that you know people don't really watch DVDs or anything anymore. It's all streaming and online. So they the streaming and online killed skate videos, and I definitely will miss those. They always have like a good nostalgia feeling when I watch skate videos in my heart. But it's just weird watching. I liked the whole theme that it could be, just like molding all the parts together and putting their little artistic, and like just putting a little of their personal touch into the video, and especially if they had like a weird name or something. Because one of the early ones that I had was Alien Workshop. Was it Alien Workshop? Mosaic? No, no, no. Oh, I forgot what it was. I don't even think they make skateboards anymore. But it was Stefan Janowski was on it. It's called Mosaic, but it was pretty dope. I really liked that one. It what was the other one? The This Is Gold, not This Is Gold. The America, This Is Us, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I miss skate videos a lot. I miss just the anticipation of watching them and everything. And now I don't know who's who, and everybody has a skate video, and everybody's ripping hard and tearing everything up. So it kind of just feels diluted in a way, I guess, in my opinion. I don't know. If there's anybody who disagrees or has a different opinion on it, please let me know. I'd love to hear. Um, but yeah, going back to um, the skate game that's looking pretty dope. I'm wondering it would have been smart just to make it for both Xbox and PlayStation and just do crossplay or something like that. Because geez, that would have been dope. Because it's skateboarding. It's not like Halo or Uncharted or The Last of Us. It's not like a title, a select title, or a title exclusive, for a console exclusive. It's not something like that. So, um, I'm hoping, I'm hoping we get something on the Xbox because it would be a real drag to miss this opportunity to play to have this on both consoles. Um, another game I want to talk about that Bethesda made or making. Okay, I had to go back and correct myself. It's not made by Bethesda. I wrote down Bethesda for some reason. It's Obsidian. But Obsidian, for those who don't know, is the ones who took that Bethesda late take control of one of the Fallout games, Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas, which was actually one of my personal favorite Fallouts. That's probably one of the, besides Fallout 4, I spent the most. No, I think I spent more time on Fallout New Vegas, honestly. That one was amazing. I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of. If you have PC, even if you have a Xbox One or a PlayStation, a PS4, check it out. I've downloaded it. They might have it for free depending on what you have. But yeah, these people rocked. Did it so good that they Bethesda got mad and didn't want to have them handle any more of their of their Fallout games because whatever Obsidian did, they knocked it out of the park. Um, better than Bethesda could, and they actually did make that what was that called? They made the Outer Worlds. That one was pretty dope too. I played that one. I didn't get too into it honestly because it wasn't a lot there. It was a lot, but it didn't seem like I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about it because it wasn't bad. It needed little tweaks and probably more content, but whatever. To me, I still enjoyed it. I still played. I gave hey, probably like good 50, 60 hours on a game and another game, or on a player. I beat the game and then another player. So altogether, it's probably like 50, 60 hours of gameplay. Dope game. I loved it, but feel kind of limited to some things. But I mean, I didn't play it as much as I'm sure other people play, so I'm sure there's a lot I missed or just didn't really go through. But yeah, this one looks so cool though. It just reminds me of kind of like a '90s type of sci-fi-ish game, like so, like ideas thrown into a game because you're literally you could build your own bases. And let me remind you, you're as big as like an ant. Maybe yeah, it's probably as big as an ant, and you're just this little dude, and you just have to go forage and do all this stuff. At least if this seems, I don't know if it's gonna be linear, open world ish, but it looks dope. And these kind of games, I feel you you could do wrong. Only you can do only wrong or right. So what I mean is, so these kind of games, people either love them or hate them. And what I kind of mean by that is, it's really hard to satisfy everybody with these types of games because you'll get a few people who like them, and then you get a bunch of casuals, people who've never really played these type of games, to be like complain about it. And that goes with every game. There's always gonna be, you can't satisfy everybody, but this is something, I don't know. It just looks really cool. I like the whole aspect of it, the whole kind of story of it. You have like a little robot homie, and from the trailer I don't know much, but I do want to know more, and it gets me really excited because I love Obsidian as the gaming company, and I really like what they do with games. Their games are always top notch in my opinion. What else did they make? Let me see. Oh wow! So they made the Stick of Truth, and they also made the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. I don't know if anybody, like people, because those games are pretty dope. Knights of the Old Republic. Those were pretty much early BioWare and like BioWare games where it was like you had decisions to make and you could do evil, good. You know what I mean? Those are kind of like the earlier games for kind of pick and choose your path games for at least of like the 2000s. Um, and the Stick of Truth, man. That's if you love South Park, you love that game. There's no way you can't love South Park and not play that game, because that game some of the best some of the best writers, and I know Matt and Trey are like the top dogs, but the people who did that game deserve an Oscar and deserve an Emmy, whatever. And also with the Fractured Butthole, which was a little different, but it was still a good game altogether. They paid homage to a lot of to everything, to all of South Park, pretty much, both of them. So I don't think they made the Fractured Butthole, but they definitely made the Stick of Truth, which is still a great game in its own right. Um, yeah, so this gaming company doesn't really mess up when it comes to games. They, as far as I know, they always make satisfying games to where, let's say, most of the time it's like 70-30% of people who actually like the game. So it's like a positive percentage, you know. So at least from what I've seen and from community boards that I've read and stuff, and just comments and all this stuff and votes and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those games I want to really check out, you know. Um, Another one that's gonna come out. So Final Fantasy, the remake is here. I'm pretty sure by the time it comes out in a couple days, but I'm pretty sure by the time this is out on YouTube, it'll either already be out, just it'll be the first day release or the day after. So yeah, this one looks dope. I saw some people who got their hands on it early, some YouTubers, some reviews on it. I just spoiled everything when I watched it, but I'm not gonna spoil anything here. Don't worry. Um, the only thing I heard that was bad it is like people were saying the rumors were it's multiple. It's going to be multiple games, so multiple discs. So you're buying part one of Final Fantasy VII pretty much, and they're coming out with the part two. But I heard some people justifying it just because of the scenery. They redid pretty much everything and added a bunch new um, characters. I guess they added like a more in depth to see like what to see how the people are living in these slums and in these areas and in these sectors and all these places. I don't know how far it goes to actually, but I think it goes to right after you leave the sectors, maybe a little bit more than that. But it looks dope, man. I'm so mad that they're doing just an exclusive because they did Kingdom Hearts, because Metal Gear, Kingdom Hearts, and Final Fantasy usually those are the ones that are like PlayStation 4 exclusives. But for the past, you know, they did Kingdom Hearts for the past few games that have came out with those. They were all both consoles, so I don't know why PlayStation is doing that, or maybe they're just gonna have an exclusive and in like a month or so they'll release it for Xbox, or maybe it'll just be only on PlayStation 4. Who knows? But if I had a PlayStation 4, I would definitely pick this game up. This is one of those ones, especially if you're a Final Fantasy fan. Even if you're a new fan, it's good to go back and kind of play those remakes. They're it'll be a good way to kind of relive it. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. So it'll be a good way to re-experience it, especially if you play this as a kid, and if you haven't, like this is your first time, it's a good way to introduce yourself into the series and find out about kind of like because this one this what is it? I think it's like 5, 7, 8, 10 are like the most popular ones, I believe, out of all the franchises. Um, my personal favorite was 13 with Lightning and all that stuff. That was probably one of the least liked in all of the series too. Funny enough, but Yeah, this one looked. This one I went back and actually played it. I bought it for it was on sale for like $5 on my Xbox. It was the remastered, not the remake. So it's just the PlayStation One graphics. It's all buttered up, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I didn't get too far because I found out that um you could pretty much cheat, and once I found that out, I kind of spoiled myself and was struggling with this one dude, and I didn't want to grind, so I just kept on beating him, or I just kept on cheating to beat him. But uh, I had a fun time playing it. And the story, I forgot completely what the story about was about, and I just relearned all of it. I would go into it, but I don't want to like spoil anything, and I don't know exactly how much is inside the Final Fantasy VII, like what they did, bring back into this game and what they didn't bring. Um, yeah, this Final Fantasy series in general is just probably one of the biggest what's that? I'm trying to think of the word. It's probably some of the one of the biggest or like one of the best things that happened to video games because they pushed not just the genre but the what games could be like cinematic wise, and you know what I mean, like just having cuts, like doing the cut scenes and everything. Just ooh, Final Fantasy. I'm not gonna lie, PlayStation One they did raise that bar pretty high. If it wasn't for the PlayStation One, oof, who knows? Who knows what games would have been like? Maybe I don't know. But yeah, from coming from an Xbox fan and an Xbox owner, PlayStation One was top notch. It just kind of sucks because I was probably like 7, 8 when PlayStation One came out, probably even younger, and I don't think I even got one until I was like 10. Or I didn't get one. My brother got one, and I just had to use his. But yeah, Final Fantasy always had like a special heart in my a special place in my heart because I had cousins who played it. My brother never liked it, but for whatever reason, I liked this the aspect of fighting, having your own crew, running around, just and I wasn't. I mean, I couldn't understand it, so I was too little to like kind of comprehend the big picture of what was happening. So I never really got too far. But Seven was the one I played a lot. I remember. I even said this on one of the episodes before. I brought it into show and tell, and I was like, "This is my game. It's Final Fantasy VII. I love it so much." It was like second or third grade or something like that. But no, it was like fourth grade actually. I don't know. I was little, and I remember just because when I was young and I could get fight a boss, my adrenaline would start. I remember my heart would start pumping. I'd be like, "Okay, here it goes. We got it's the big guy. It's the big one." And I'd always get hella nervous, and my heart would start pounding. It's funny to think back, but yeah, Final Fantasy, man. This is what April was all about. Was the remakes. The best games that came out when we were younger is remakes. And you know what other game? You know what other game also came out? Oh boy. So this is the one I really wanted to get into. So I was just going on about remakes. You know what game I'd really, or you know what game I just played and just beat? Resident Evil 3, the remake. And before I talk about the good and everything, I just want to spoilers, big time spoilers. I mean, maybe not big time spoilers, but I'm gonna be talking about the game and everything. Maybe some of the parts that happened in it. So just fair warning. This is uh, this is kind of a little spoilers, I guess. So, like I said, fair warning. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was first thing I wanted to bring up was hardcore fans, especially of Resident Evil 3, will be severely disappointed with some aspects. With there's a few places that was cut. It was one of the bosses. The I think his name was Gravemine or Gravedigger, something like that. And the clock tower, when you go into the clock tower and do all that, the puzzle, and the fight with Nemesis in front of the RPD. So that so those ones were kind of iconic, especially the clock tower. I'm not a huge like I never beat RE3. I played it a little bit every here and there, but I never got too far. Um, it seems like a lot of the people were happy with that. A lot of people were happy with that stuff getting cut out, and especially hardcore fans. Another thing is Nemesis is really more scripted this time, and I know he was scripted in the older ones. Like people, I think to try to make like was more random, but I think when he would appear, it would be just a little bit more surprising. It was more Mr. X. Because when you look at Resident Evil 2 and you look at Mr. X, you see that Mr. X is more like he's a force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Like you want to stay away from Mr. X. You run to the safe room. You hear him walking around, doom, doom, and you're like, maybe I should wait a little bit, or maybe I should just walk around the other way and avoid him altogether. And with Nemesis in this one, it's literally like that just for maybe the first hour, maybe half hour, hour and a half. After that, they're just basic runaway. And it's not even like hard runaway. It's just hold up on the like hold forward, or hold back, or it's nothing that what you see in the older ones where you're like, oh crap, should I, were they giving me a choice? Like, am I going to fight him? Or should I run away? Or should I do this? Or, because they gave you choices in the original number three. And they skipped a lot of it. And they changed up some of the things. Like, instead of Joe going to the raccoon um, police department, it's Carlos. And you do go to some of the, pretty much all the old places that you see in the police department. You don't go through the whole place, but it's it's you go through some of there, and then the hospital where you fight the hunters and everything that's still in there, and they still got the crazy monster fights, So I don't want to go too much. I want to talk about any of that real quick, but I want to talk about there's no mercenaries. How can you not have no mercenaries? I don't understand that. That's one of the most iconic things when it comes to Resident Evil. Of every Resident Evil, like they have the little, just a little side thing, and I don't know. I kind of got disappointed because after I beat the game, because I just went to bed, and the next day I just started looking through it, and I was like, wait a second, there's no mercenaries, and then I started looking up just to see maybe I had to like beat it like a certain way or like beat it with like under a certain amount of time, but no, there's no mercenaries. I was like, wow, are you kidding me? Like, I just thought it was weak how you don't have mercenaries. Another thing, it was very short, very very short. It's one of those, and I know Resident Evil 2 was the same way, and they did kind of like a thing where you could play through this, pretty much go through the same place and stray off from different areas as Claire and Leon. You guys kind of go to the same places, but you guys, you know, their paths never intertwine, but it's kind of the same, So it kind of makes it feel kind of fresh each each character you play through. So I mean, Resident Evil 2 was the same way. It was just had A and B story mode with A1 and then B2, or A1 and B1 story mode. So it's like I can't really fault that, but I just don't understand why you don't put mercenaries in the game. That's what confused me the most. Um, they really emphasized on this Resident Evil Resistance, which is like a multiplayer thing. They're trying to. It's like what's that called? Resident Evil Outbreak, which if you don't know what that is, it's this old school PS2 um, online. I think it was only in Japan for a little bit. It might have come in America for like the last like year of its life, year or two of its life, but It was most popular in Japan, and this is like early like PS2 online days, so I don't think many people caught on to it. Um, but it seemed pretty crazy. I looked up some gameplay, and apparently you could, if you do some heavy research and go to some forums and stuff, you could find some active servers that people put up themselves and stuff. And but yeah, the resistance one, it's pretty cool. It's four survivors. You have to choose between. It's like a Freddy vs. Jason kind of in a way, where except everybody has like perks and stuff. I don't know if people have that in the other game or like Dead by Daylight or whatever, but it's fun. But if that's what their main focus was, I would rather of them just release that a month, like a year later or something, or like a few months later, and just prioritizing the main story. Because nobody's trying to play Resident Evil Online, you know what I mean? And if they do, make it like a story, make it like make it where you all have to like kind of work together to fight a common enemy. And I'm not talking about just some dude with looking at a camera, plotting traps and everything. It's like just have a big map, everybody spawn in a certain spot, and you guys have to work together. You guys have to find each other and then work together and just kind of do like something like the story, like Resident Evil 6, where you can kind of have co-op in a way, not to that extent, but to where there's three or four people and you guys are all working together to get out or to find a common goal. Give them like an hour or like half hour to try to do something. Even if Resident Evil 6, you can play as some zombies and stuff and just like kind of jump into somebody's campaign and try to mess up the, mess up the run. So I don't know what they were thinking. I heard it wasn't the original team that worked on, or most of the like, it wasn't the whole original team that worked on RE2, that worked on RE3, and a lot of people seemed confused about what was going on. Not what was going on, but what they were thinking with the cut content. And I get it if you cut some of the story. Like, there's some stuff that didn't happen in RE2, the original, that didn't happen in the remake. But not having mercenaries? What? That's just blasphemous in a way. Honestly, it's just wow. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just one of those things you don't do for you should always have mercenaries for any Resident Evil game, especially in now times. You know what I mean? I would I would hope they could maybe like add like a DLC or something like an add-on for free and patch that up, or like just do something where it's just a whole new add-on, a whole new game mode. But yeah, that's one of my big complaints was that it's pretty linear too. Honestly, the gameplay is very or the storyline is pretty linear. It's just go straight, blast your way through these people, and um, grab this, go back, and your next area, next onto the next area. And after like a few hours, you get to the underground place, and you're like, maybe I hope this isn't the end. Like maybe they're throwing me a little curveball. Like maybe I'm gonna be down here for the next like little bit, but nah. You get down there, you do a few things, and you're pretty much fighting the last boss. Um, but I there was a few things I wish if I had to change with this thing, make it a little bit longer, add mercenaries, and but we'll see. We'll see. They did do a few add-ons with Resident Evil 2 like a month or two after it came out, so we'll see what they have planned. Hopefully they have something smart planned and more for Resident Evil 3 and not Resistance, because I feel like that was kind of more their main focus for this one, which I mean, I don't think anybody was asking for this, honestly. I'm pretty sure there's some fans who were going crazy about this, but from what I've seen, it's a lot of people are disappointed with that. But since talking about all the bad, I want to talk about the good. So this game, has amazing graphics, just like the second one. Maybe even a little better. I don't know. These graphics are amazing. The combat is pretty dope. I do like the combat. There's a dodge roll mechanic now, and it's kind of how the third one was. If you dodge at a certain time, or if you push like the dodge, yeah, if you dodge at a certain time, you'll pretty much dodge the enemies, and you'll be able to hit them with the you have like a few seconds to time slows down, and you start shooting. You can shoot them, get a couple hits in there. And if you're Carlos, you just like fucking yeah, straight up haymaker them in the face or whatever. Fucking only Carlos would be punching zombies like that and hunters, big old toads and frogs. Oh, speaking of hunters and stuff, the enemies. I love the enemies, like the newer enemy designs in this game. There's this one thing that I hate, and it looked like a like a plucked chicken frog thing. It just looked gross. It had like little chicken wings and stuff, and I hated it. I hated it. Those ones freaked me out. They brought the hunters in, which was pretty dope. They had a cool design for them. Had a bunch of armor and stuff on their skulls, and they were a unique enemy. Kind of annoying, but once you get the hold of them, they could just kind of you can handle them pretty easily. Um, they had this weird zombie that just wouldn't die. I think they had it in Art Resident Evil 2, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't beat that one in a while, but the replayability with this one too, it's there. They have stuff you could buy after you beat the game, or when you unlock more stuff and everything. More you get more bobbleheads. Like they brought back the bobbleheads. You get more bobbleheads. You get a little like the achievement list that they have in the game. If you get those, you get to pretty much. If you get those, you pretty much get money to buy more content in the game. And you have costumes, you have boosts, stuff that like will heal, that can heal you over time. Uh, Extra stuff to help you out, weapons, and they have some crazy weapons which I haven't even. I'm trying to beat it again. I'm gonna try to beat it like 2 or 3 times just to kind of get try to unlock some stuff and see where that goes. And there's like a bunch of other game modes because after it's hardcore, there's like Nightmare and Inferno. So I want to be able to get to the point where I beat all those game modes. So overall, in my opinion, this is one of those games where I feel you probably should wait for it and like like buy it like around winter when the price goes down. Because it probably isn't worth full price. But unless you're a hardcore Resident Evil fan and you just need Resident Evil anything in your life, get it. Definitely get it. Gameplay is fun. I'm trying to see what the replayability is like. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't enjoy it because I did. I'm not disappointed. That's for sure. I really like this game, and it's not bad, but I think it either I don't know if it got hyped up too much or if it just got rushed. It could be a little bit of both, but I think if anything, it was more rushed. Because if I believe correctly, it started development just right after, or just a couple months after RE2 came out. So they've had a long time, like a year and a half, to kind of. And it's not like they're building some. It's not like they were building a whole story from the ground up. You know what I mean? They had a blueprint and everything of what to do. So it wasn't like this was like something they had to think of on the fly. But you know, we'll see what they do, what add-ons they'll do if they add mercenaries or what else, and if they're just gonna focus on the resistance, which I do enjoy. That was pretty dope. Tyrone, that's my guy, dude. The tank. That's what they call. That's what his class is. But it's fun. You you do get people that don't know what the hell they're doing in that though. That's what's annoying. There was one guy. who put on his mic. He's like, "What the fuck you doing, bro? Fucking, we're waiting on you, man. Fucking push select and put up your map and find your way over here, man. God damn, you wasted so much time." And I just started laughing, like but it's true though, because if you guys aren't all on the same page, it's kind of pointless because you'll get that one person that doesn't know what the hell is going on, and they'll end up wasting like a bunch of important time because time is important in that one. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait, see what's up with that, see how that's going, and see if anything they do will if anything they add will be worth it, and if this is actually worth the full price as it is now, because it seems kind of divided at this, not divided, but it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts 3 where the hardcore fan base was disappointed, but the casual fan base enjoyed it still. And it is one of those games you can play and enjoy and it's fun, but it just feels like something's missing, you know? And if you look at the reviews and you see what people are saying, you can see where they're coming from. But honestly, if they would have delayed it until, I don't know, let's say September, I wouldn't have been mad. Because if they would have added a few more things or anything, or maybe some things to the campaign or stuff, I would have liked that, especially what knowing what I know now. Um, but it's one of those things where it's just we got to see what they do and how how they react to the fan base. So, but if I had to give it a rating out of a 10, I'd give it a little higher than probably most people, and I'd give it an 8, just because it's a Resident Evil game. It did come with a multiplayer game, and there is replayability with the Resident Evil game. Maybe not as much as Resident Evil 2, but it's still there. You could still probably you could get maybe like a good 30, 40 hours of gameplay altogether out of this game, the campaign mode. Um, but yeah, we'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. One thing I'm really hoping we don't see is because I've been hearing a lot of people clamoring about Resident Evil 4 remake. Ugh, why? Resident Evil 4? I was just playing that the other day. I have like a little walkthrough that I started for Resident Evil 4 on my on here, and it ran and looked perfect. It looks so good. I think that's just one of those games that you don't need a touch. And if they do anything, they just like find that source code and make it 4K or something like that. You know what I mean? Like do what they did with the enhancement of like Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation and then the remastered on like on today's consoles, you know what I mean? Or like even before on 360, like, make that leap of graphic, enhancement, but please don't remake Resident Evil 4. Please don't. And if you do, make it like 5, 10 years from now when it's a super gen. Because right now it's it's golden, man. You don't need to do anything with that game. You don't need to do anything with Resident Evil 4. It's good the way it is. I mean, if people are clamoring for this, I guess you have to do it, but I really, in my opinion, you don't need to touch that game for at least another 5 years. Because if you have to remake any Resident Evil game, remake 5. Because that one was not the best. Even though I love Resident Evil 5 and I love Chris punching the boulder and stuff, I just don't see them. I don't want them to make more. Because that one was definitely one of the top in the franchises. I mean, if you say Resident Evil to any gamer, like, and they're gonna probably go with Resident Evil 4. Maybe now with Resident Evil 2 remake, but any person I ever ran into that talked about Resident Evil was always number 4. And yeah, don't that game doesn't need to be touched. Please don't touch that game. And then I think they're gonna make Resident Evil 8 after this. So I think from now, I think they're going to continue the story that they're going on with after Resident Evil 7. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. I just really hope. Please don't touch it. So Call of Duty just dropped a remastered version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 onto the PlayStation just the other day, and it's only the campaign, which was surprising. But I guess what the team, people were wondering, and I guess a lot of people were asking them, so they ended up just dropping like an official notice or a message to everybody saying that it, from what it sounded like, I don't know exactly what it said verbatim, but it sounded like they wanted to focus more on Modern Warfare and wanted to have that one more of the focus because they probably don't want to have people playing Strain like, oh, Modern Warfare 2 remasters out. I'm just gonna play that. So it's $20. I heard it was pretty good. It doesn't come out for Xbox or PC until the end of the month, so the 30th. Let me double check. Yeah, on the 30th. So yeah, they if you remember Call of Duty's story, Call of Duty 2 when the Russians invaded the U.S. and everything, that was pretty crazy. And that was the one where you see Soap, the main character from Modern Warfare 2 that you played as. So it was cool to see you play as the character you played as grow and become a main character, and you get to play alongside the character that you played as pretty much. Um, yeah, Modern Warfare Remastered 2. I I don't know if $20. I'd probably get it honestly just to play it, just to kind of have that nostalgia feeling of running around. I remember they had the AUG or something like that, or the AUG. That gun, oh, I love that gun so much. It's probably one of the best guns in my opinion in that game. Um, yeah, Call of Duty, man. They're Activision with Call of Duty. They're killing it right now because they're just releasing they're going to be releasing the season 3 for Modern Warfare, or they're just teased it at least, and they're doing the whole battle royale. They're adding new maps. They're adding a bunch of like customizables. I think new weapons, a couple new weapons, and just but I think they're adding more so the weapons and game modes and stuff. But this is how you should run DLC. And people could be like, "Oh well, you gotta be like, you gotta support them, right? How else are they gonna be making their money? You can't just be buying. They can't just be giving it to free. You can't just be. You want it for free? They're gonna give it to you for free. No, no. This is how DLC should be run. And another example is GTA 5, which is came out in like 2013, and then like 2015 it came out for everything, and they're still, you know what I mean? They're still in the running for um, they're still like in the top people of they're still in the top market of game, like the percentage of people buying games. So people are still behind GTA 5. Another one is Halo 5. Halo 5 always had some free DLC. A lot of that content is pretty dope. The Witcher 3 is another one that just came to my mind. So there are examples of great games out there with free DLC, and you can still make money. And I don't want to hear people try to justify DLC or everything. No, you're just a sucker. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. You just got sucked into that thing, this sheep mode, to think it's normal. And there's some DLC I will admit that is worth money, but when you see Call of Duty, when you see Halo, when you know what I mean, when you see GTA doing all this stuff, adding all this content, all this stuff for free, like maps, game modes, weapons, they're just adding more stuff onto it to make you keep coming back and playing it. Because you know, I know GTA has like its, what's that called, shark mode and all, or the shark loan or whatever. You can pay to get money and like kind of pay to get ahead. But I can agree with that. Like I could be down with that. I hate the pay to win kind of thing, but if I can grind it and get there and use my skills to overpower your pay to win skills, I mean, you know what I mean? If you if you're playing somebody online and they have all the best stuff, all the best gear and everything, you skill still matters, you know. So I've been grinding my way up, and it's a fair grind. It's not like uh, the Star Wars Battlefront grind where you have to play for like 20 hours just to unlock a little cosmetic or something, or But Call of Duty's been killing it. They're making waves. Activision Call of Duty's finally doing something. The the last best Call of Duty, in my opinion, they made was Modern Warfare 3, and I know people will like Ghost, even though it's probably one of the worst in the franchise, and people will like Infinite Warfare, which is pretty cool. I like the boosting, the boom boom, but it kind of was trying to they were kind of taking off what Titanfall was doing because they fell off their game and everything. And I can't lie, they are copying Battlefield with the and Fortnite with the battle royale, which Fortnite copied PUBG. And, what was the one before that? Daisy or something like that. So a lot of these are all like rip-offs of other games, but I think Call of Duty's capitalizing on it because they're giving stuff away for free. It's their third season; it's all for free. So it's kind of hard, not to buy into that kind of stuff when it's for free. DLC should be for free. Most DLC, at least. All DLC. Why not? Why not make it all? Because it makes sense, in my opinion. If I buy a game and they announce add-ons, I'm gonna get excited for that. But once I find out I have to pay another $20, I'm thinking, what? That's not, you know, $20. So I pay $20 to get an extra, let's say, like an hour and a half of storyline and maybe a couple things, uh, couple things for online. Like some skins or weapons or whatever. But if they announce that for free, damn well I'll be coming back and trying that stuff out. And I don't know, it's just really hard. But I really do like the idea of DLC, downloadable content being free. You know, because if you had a PC and you could, this is what I wish consoles and PlayStation could be like use more mods. But if you had a PC and you could pay 20 extra bucks for something that somebody could just mod for free, you know, you you would get the free version. It may not be as good, but it's gonna be damn near close and probably even better because some modders out there are just they're doing God's work online, But yeah, this DLC content in Call of Duty, I think this is a good way for them to get back on top of the mountain, of the FPS mountain. I heard Doom wasn't doing too good with the online, the matchmaking and everything is all weird. Um, uh, I don't even know what else is out there, but honestly, I just know Call of Duty is doing right by their fans. So they're they're it's good to see a huge franchise like that set an example for other franchises to maybe follow. And they did try to do some like last minute squirrely stuff to be like, oh, this DLC is going to be paid, and fans like literally were like, if you make this, if you guys said there's going to be free DLC and now you guys are going to charge us for it, you got bye. You guys are gonna this game is gonna flop. But they stayed true to it, and it's still fun. I mean, whenever I hop on it, I have tons of fun. I'll play Call of Duty for a good hour or two before I hop off, and it's still a great game. And I'm glad. I'm glad because Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original, was the one I grew up on. revolutionary, and then it just kind of started watering down and biting off other franchises. But it's good to see this kind of them get back on their feet and try to climb up at like try to get back on top to where they were. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Um, Sadly, I haven't been watching too much anime. Been watching a lot of the Office and Ozark and a lot of Better Call Saul. So I've been catching up on a lot of TV shows that I haven't seen in a long time. Um, Ghost in the Shell, April 30th. The movie on Netflix, though. I do want people to check that out. I don't want people to forget about it because that one's gonna be a good one. It's a new artist. I forget that dude's name. I'll put a picture up with his name and everything, and I think his Instagram handle. Um, don't forget about that. End of the month. I know that's probably when people are gonna start going back to their jobs and doing. That's when life's gonna probably start to slowly continue to normal. But also that High Score Girl. If you like, if you like old school, if you like anime, old school video games like Super Nintendo, arcadey games, and you like kind of slapsticky kind of anime, that's a good show for you. They just dropped the second season. Um, I'm still waiting for some of the other shows we talked about to kind of come up, but yeah, remember to stick around for those. And yeah, so remember to stick around for those. And I guess yeah, I pretty much all I need to talk about. I'm about to hop on and play some more Resident Evil, so see what's up with that. Remember, stay safe, keep those hands clean still. There's still people who are sick out there. I know things are like kind of doling out and becoming normal, but just for now, keep it safe. Stay away from people. Social distance, you know what I mean? It's cool to see friends and everybody, but don't hang out in big groups of crowds and stuff. And um, just be smart, You don't want to, because it's still out there, So just be smart about it. Hope you guys have a good one. Guys, be safe, be clean, and don't forget to check out my other. Like I've been doing some walkthroughs, I did the Resident Evil walkthroughs, and the Dragon Ball Z one I'm still doing. So don't forget to check out those the walkthroughs, the Dragon Ball Z and my Resident Evil walkthroughs. So don't forget to check those out. And you guys have a good one and stay safe. Shnerdcast out. Shnerd.